What's good? Welcome to Watched Up Podcast. You ain't what you used to be, but you're in a position to be where you destined to be. Your boy Queasy in the building.
Yes, sir.
Dirt Dig in the building.
We're going to talk about partnerships. Something me and T was talking a little bit offline about, but it's something I think is very important, not just for relationships, but marriages too. But I wanted to know, man, how y'all feel, man? Not really how y'all feel, but I'll just throw it out there for what I was saying. I think a lot of people I don't think a lot of people talk about it before they're in relationships, what partnership is. And I think maybe people have different definitions of exactly what it's supposed to be. I might have an idea, and I know T said something before, like, to each his own, and I was kind of more stuck on is there a definition of partnership that goes across the board? And just from what we talked about before, it's not a for sure true definition of what partnership is. I guess it just differs from person to person. But just to kind of get into it, I was just wondering if y'all maybe feel like, well, Dirk, I'll throw it at you. Do you think men and women have a easier or a way of, I would say, defining what a partnership is? I mean, for you, what maybe you might think, or what's the definition of partnership to you? Just start out there first.
Like you said, I feel like definition is everybody gonna have their own different opinion and definition of what partnership is. But in a relationship, to me, I believe that it's like working together as one, and it can be on just your union, the way y'all work together with the kids, household bills, everything. To me, just everything that y'all deal with. So now that don't necessarily mean, because I know the women like to throw out the 50-50, the 60-40, and all them numbers and shit like that. I honestly don't even look at it in a number sense. I just look at it like, if I could do it, I'm gonna do it. Whatever I can't, help me on the back end, and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I look at as a partnership, like working together towards a common goal.
So you think so you believe two people that aren't together, let's say two people raising a kid that completely separated, is that a partnership? From your definition, do you think that's a partnership too?
It can be.
Mm-hmm.
But so when you put it like that, partnership pretty much is like two people being on the same page. So since a kid is involved, I want the child to go to this school. Well, why? Because X, Y, and Z. Okay, I'm cool with that. Do you got any other suggestions? Nah. Okay, well then that's where the baby gonna go. You know what I'm saying? So, working together to me is a partnership. It don't have to be just because.
Do you think it's one-sided? Is it one-sided?
People on the outside can see it. Sometimes can see other people's situation as one-sided, but if the two people involved are cool with what's going on or the decision, it ain't one-sided to them. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So, but even my bad to cut you off.
Nah, go ahead.
But what you just said, Dirk. Let me just throw this. I'm throwing up something sideways. But if what you just said, does it mean that it's still a partnership because you accept it?
Yeah.
So if you saying somebody from the outside may see it as one-sided, but the person in the inside may see that it's a partnership. What about what you're showing, or what about a person that they're showing that would somebody from the outside would see it as one-sided? You see what I'm saying? Like, what would something? Are people seeing it that way? Because they just seeing it.
Okay, let me put it like this then. Somebody on the outside could see one person being putting up more financial giving up more financially or whatever. However, people don't on the outside don't realize like, okay, that person partner or the other person lost their job, so right now that's what they doing. So they don't know the scenario, they don't know the situation, or the person might just be cool with that. Hey, I'm gonna take care of, the finances, but I need you to do this. So it's an agreement to me, and that's what a partnership is. If you can come to common ground and like, hey, I'm gonna do this, you willing to do this? Okay, well then let's it's it's negotiation. You know what I'm saying? And so once you come to that common ground, you know
That real dirt.
you know what I'm saying? So
No, I got you. T, what you think? What you?
I'm a lead off. I'm gonna read the definition of marriage: the legally or formally recognized union of two people as partners in a personal relationship. That's the noun. I say we are our own universe. We create our universe, and I believe that the couple determines what their blueprint is in partnership. And like, Dirt was saying, what end up happening is people from the outside look in and say, hey, you doing more than this person. So you carrying this person. But actually, you don't actually know what do I have. Like, is my glass half full, half empty, and I need XYZ to be fulfilled. So my XYZ may not be, but probably 10 to 20%. You know what I'm saying? I may be bringing XYZ to the table, and this person do a great job, an excellent job of bringing this 10%. And this is what I need from them in order for me to be, productive and progressive in life. So it's like when you meet your partner, you come together and you want to discuss the plans because we all got weaknesses and strength. And once you get an understanding of what you're weak in and what their strengths are, that's how once you become married, you are a union. You know what I'm saying? So you have to come into agreement how to work to a same common goal. Benefits of that, again, let's rewind. You can't go into the situation and trying to look at it as I'm single. You know what? I ain't gonna say you can't. But, people go into the situation and I came with XYZ and I'm doing worse than what I was when I came into the situation. Now, again, it depends on how you looking at it. Are you looking at it as a step back, for preparation to as a huge comeback? Or are you looking at it as that, okay, well, I got this person because I wanted it to multiply what I already had. That was my mind frame of actually being with this person. I'm supposed to be moving forward financially. And a lot of things is not really, it's a lot more things dealing with life than we just thinking about the financial aspect of things. You know what I'm saying? What are you pouring into me spiritually? What are you pouring into me like my health, my well-being? Sure, you may be a person that understand the right food, the right regimen, a diet regimen for me to have longevity in life, not having health problems or things like that. It's a heap of things that a person can bring into the relationship, you know what I'm saying, or a partnership that an outsider won't recognize it as a necessity or a need because they're not actually in that relationship. I'll leave it there.
And
What you think?
And I was gonna go back to say necessarily perception, but like the same thing I asked Dirt. What if somebody's looking from the outside? Do you think they see something? Like that's more. I'm going down that line. If a person from the outside,
of course,
they can see whatever they want to see. They can say y'all got a partnership, or I like the way that y'all work well, even without them knowing the actual details of your partnership. But if somebody from the outside said that, well, it seemed like that this person is this, and you know what I'm saying? Like, so obviously you're giving off.
Go wrong.
Somebody is giving off whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, something is giving off to where people are viewing y'all or viewing the person like that. You see? We can be wrong as people. I know that because people make assumptions and they think, you know, oh man, it's crazy. This is, you know what I mean? It don't look right. I can't believe he's doing that. I can't believe she's doing this. But I think it's always not really, I won't say how it look. Well, I don't say how it look. I won't say, sometimes it is about how it looks, though. I don't know if y'all can agree with that. Like, not necessarily, I mean, on the surface part, like, it looked like if you're not smiling, it looked like you're not happy. You know what I'm saying? If somebody looking at you, they say, oh, man, what's wrong with him? You know what I mean? But they don't know that you're not always smiling all the time. But if I see you with a frown, I'm going to think you sad. You know what I'm saying? So going back to the perception of it, if I look at a situation, I say, man, this look like this, then I'm only going off of what I'm seeing. You know what I'm saying? So can it, even though the people that's involved in it are okay with it, does that still mean that there is a lack, or that means, like, if somebody's okay with something, doesn't mean that it's not wrong. Like, almost, I know this ain't the same, but like somebody getting beat on and they know it's wrong, but they stay. You know, I mean, that's a little different level of it, but it's like
that's more to the extreme. So that would be a different scenario. But
okay, so let me switch a little bit. Let's say I don't know if I want to put it that way. I'll just say if somebody indirectly, a partnership can be an indirectly forcible agreement. Like, you're my man, you're my girlfriend. I know you, like, deep down, you know you probably don't want to maybe do this, but since it's your girlfriend or since it's your wife, you take that in consideration and you do it anyway. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know everybody ain't just, partnership, yeah, you agreeing, but like, sometimes I'm sure it's forcible, indirectly forcible.
That's not a full partnership then.
I feed on it like this. Like, what I think you're trying to say is that, I mean, it's necessary for, if the other people see that it look to them, it appeared to them that it's wrong being done by you, it's okay for them to say it. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, sometimes it may not be a healthy situation that person is in. You know what I'm saying? But also there are times that it is that they don't understand. You know what I'm saying? So, but it really come down to the individual of really growing and developing love within themselves to understand, like, what is true, genuine love. Like, what is the impact of this partnership that I have, what I'm receiving and what I'm giving. Yeah. If I feel like you need your iron to be sharpened, you know what I'm saying? You may think such and such is right because you've been used to it from childhood, because the first partnership you see is whoever was in that household.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So you may think it's common, like that person that let's go back, like you were saying, that stream getting beat up. It was common to see auntie and boyfriend fighting all the time. I mean, they loved each other, but they still was around each other. You know what I'm saying? Mama and daddy was fighting. You know what I'm saying? But they still loved each other. It came a common thing. And no matter what, sometimes those people end up finding themselves being a magnet to those type of relationships. You know what I'm saying? And it's not right. If you are in those situations, get out. That's not nothing common that you need to think that it's common and this is what you need to stick in. But go ahead.
Q trying to relate that to partnership too. So Q, so by what T just said, now I understand like how T put it or whatever. Are you saying, like, is that do we still think something like that is a partnership, even though we on the outside look at it as like that's unhealthy? That don't.
And it's I guess the more of an agreement part is like when all right, you get married and you say, okay, we're a union, right? And then I think a lot of, I don't say this, I know a lot of men agree to stuff because it's their wife. Like, that's the only reason that they're agreeing to. I'm not saying every man, but I can only speak for like my life and the people that I've met. A lot of men, and I don't know what's the number or nothing like that, but a lot of men do stuff, and I'm not saying nothing is wrong with it, but it's not like they like, baby, I don't want to really do this. You know what I'm saying? Or I don't think this really, like, I don't feel comfortable.
Like based on what me and T was saying, like, hey, you know, this wasn't a part of the agreement, but I'm doing it anyway. You know what I'm saying? Now that's where, to me, I think that's where love and compassion comes in.
It go back to the old time. You think about it, like the old men that I know. I can only speak for my life. Growing up in Alabama, seen my Uncle Joe, I seen Granddaddy, I seen a lot of older men in my family who had a partnership, but I didn't feel like, even though I was younger, I didn't feel like it was, because I wasn't a part of the agreement, obviously, you know what I'm saying? But it seemed like my uncle was doing, I don't say too much. I ain't gonna say that because only he know how much his plate can bear. You know what I'm saying? So I don't like to say too much. But my uncle died 40 years. My uncle died 40 years before my great aunt did. You know what I'm saying? And all I know of my uncle is working. That's all I know, bro. Like, they was old school, old time, like, so I'm sure my uncle's son grew up thinking I'm supposed to, you know, that's a man to me. You know what I'm saying? He's saying his daddy, like, that's a man to me. That's how him and his wife got their partnership. Like, she cook every day. She don't go to work. She tend to the house. You know what I'm saying? They don't, you know, whatever it is, whatever. But if I say, let's go away from the relationship, let's go to the business, let's go to partnership business-wise. Let's go there. If me, you, and T say, I say, Dirk, we're going to buy this house. And I'm going to do all the floors, the windows, the paint. I'm going to put everything in it. I'm going to do all of that. All you and T got to do is just put groceries in it, right? Let's just say that. All you and T got to do is put groceries in it, right? Me and you can agree to that. All us can agree to that. But somebody from the outside can look and say, you doing you see what I'm saying? Like, we can agree with that, but it's like, yeah. And like, even though it's a partnership and y'all agree to it, that's what I'm saying. It still doesn't seem like I don't say a lot of times, but that situation that I just named isn't a fair partnership. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not one, because also I'm taking it away from the love. I'm taking it away from the personal feelings and putting it as strictly business. So in a strictly business sense, I'm doing more work than what y'all doing, but we're in a partnership though.
So are you asking on our opinion based on what you just said?
No, I'm more just. Go ahead.
Are you basically saying, like, okay, based on that scenario that you give, do we still think that that's a partnership?
Would you consider it a partnership, or is it different when you in a relationship?
To me, it's a partnership because you agree. However, it don't mean that it's a good one.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
And that was my initial question. Like, does that mean that it's okay because people agreed to it? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's the thing. If they agree, if those two agree with it, it's okay. You know what I'm saying? It might be unfair, but it might not to them. Like I said, to them it might not. You know what I'm saying? But again, I still don't. If the outsider feel like, you know, whoop de whoop, you got to respect the fact that they, from the outside, this is how it look, and they speaking on it from, you know, but that don't necessarily mean that it's true.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, you may, like, again, you was given a scenario. You may be in a relationship and you come with all the coins. You got all the coins. You know what I'm saying? It's already what she need to have just as much for it to be equal. You know, that
in a business world,
No.
but not all the time. But you gotta have some capital. Like you gotta have some.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. You wouldn't be messing. You wouldn't be messing with them. You ain't gonna mess with them if they ain't got nothing.
I think marriage is the only time that people. I'll say marriage. I won't say marriage. I'll say a relationship is the only time that people make exceptions. I feel like they make exceptions that they wouldn't make in any other scenario.
But some of those same exceptions that they making is still based on a similar principle.
Yeah.
I believe it's still based on a similar principle. So if you say capital, you know what I'm saying, capital may be looked at in a different window of, what the person bringing. It could be some cooler for somebody.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? The capital could be cooler. She bringing cooler to the table.
Yeah, if you
know
look at that as capital, yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
right.
you know what I'm saying? Some people some people can be, it's to each his own, good credit.
Yeah.
A lot of money, land, a family that's wealthy, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's a lot of different areas you can go with that a person may feel that this bring, a person bring. It's like the same principle is similarly there, but, you may not be seeing it like as when you're dealing with business, it's strictly just numbers. But when you're dealing with humans, you think it's more value than just numbers, is what's inside, not actually what you provide outside, but what you also possess inside of you. You know what I'm saying?
I'll say the same thing, but at first I was gonna say when you first said what you said, I was gonna say different factor. Both scenarios based on the same principle of the partnership. However, different factors can make it seem like it's lopsided or not. Cause like to me, in a relationship, that big factor is gonna be love. You know what I'm saying? Of course, I'm gonna do. It might seem like I'm doing more or whatever, or I'm doing something that I might not feel like doing it, but I'm gonna do it because this is my baby. I'm gonna do it. Go ahead, whatever, yada yada. As long as I'm cool with it and I feel like it get reciprocated,
Yeah.
it is what it is.
At the end of the day, people gonna do what they want to do, and it's
and then at this, flip it on the business side. Like when you brought up the house, yeah, you could have did put in all the work and did all that yada 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 or whatever, and then come time when it's time to and you say, hey, I just want y'all to put the groceries in, or I'm gonna take the grocery part out, and you say, hey, I just want y'all to do the paperwork, you know what I'm saying, and contribute 10%. And so then when it's time to flip the house, you still and the residuals come out, and it's like, hey, here's y'all 10% that y'all put in, here's the rest that go to me. People don't see that. They might be like, oh, Q don't put it.
That's not gonna happen in your marriage though.
Right, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, so when partnerships are built on the same principles, however, the factors are going to determine someone's outlook on like perception on like if something is lopsided, bad, good, whatever the case may be. And like what T said, people have that right to say something or give, or I ain't even gonna say something, but they had that right to give an opinion, have an opinion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta feed into it, but hey, that's their opinion. Rolling with it.
And is there, and to take it to another level, do y'all think it's there a bar as far as like a partnership? Like y'all married, right? So how do you measure visually? How do you think a person measures whether or not their partner is sharing the responsibilities to the way that maybe like is it a grading system? Like not a grading system, but you know what I'm saying? Like I know people obviously get divorces and stuff like that, but unless we just really go down that do that research on it, how much of it do y'all think is because of the partnership differences? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it? Do you think that's a factor when it comes to people deciding, okay, not to be together or stay together? You know what
Oh
I'm
yeah.
saying? How much of that you think is an issue or could be?
I think it's a huge issue. You know what I'm saying? I know me and mine's what we did at the beginning stages in our relationship. We hit a brick wall. We came into the relationship. We was living like we wasn't married at the time, but we was living like we were single because I had an outside child, she had an outside child, and we would just mainly focus on our responsibilities in that area and then come to the middle when it's between us. You know what I'm saying? So what we ended up doing when we hit that brick wall, because it wasn't flowing properly in the household, is that we had to come together, sit down and write it down. You know what I'm saying? She was more of a visual, which I learned and understood that, I can sit there and talk, but it was best, okay, we sat there and talked and actually wrote it down on a piece of paper on, what would benefit this relationship, what she need from me, what I need from her. And do we meet all those needs as humans? No. But you have a plan in place in order to understand what it is that you need to execute.